Hello and welcome to Pixel Stabbers. My name is David and I'm the Tech Stabber. We're gonna take a look at the new M1 MacBook Pro, open it up, unbox it, and talk a little bit about why I bought it and if you should buy the same one and why I think it's a really good investment for some people, like video editors for sure that use Final Cut Pro, and maybe not so good for other people. For example, people that use software that's not compatible with the M1 chip yet, like software developers that depend on emulations, or if you're using virtual machines and you want to boot into Windows. So there are reasons why you don't want to buy the new M1 Mac yet. But for some people like myself who edit with Final Cut Pro, it's the perfect solution, and I'll tell you why. So let's get into it. But before we get started, check out pixelstabbers.com/freebies. There's a lot of freebies there that people can just go, download, and enjoy. Check it out, you're gonna love it. Also, there are giveaways there too. You can win an Amazon gift card, RGB keyboard, Lumina 4 editing software, and many other things. We keep changing the giveaway, so we don't know even what's next. So check it out. And the cool thing is, for now, there's not a lot of people entering these raffles and giveaways. So if you enter, there's a great chance that you might win. So give it a shot. Anyway, let's talk about this M1 MacBook Pro, unbox it, and let's see what we got. Let's open it up and let's check it out. Beautiful MacBook Pro. Pull tab. And we have liftoff. MacBook Pro M1 2020 Space Gray with 16GB RAM and a 2TB SSD. Whoo! This is awesome. It's a really nice compact size. Inside the box, we got designed by Apple in California. Some instructions here. Look at that. Color match Apple stickers. We got a nice compact power brick. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted the MacBook Pro, because it has a bigger power brick. This one is, if you can see right there, it's a 61-watt USB-C power adapter. I know the battery life is fantastic on all of these M1 MacBooks, but the MacBook Pro has this 61-watt power charger that charges it even faster, and the MacBook Pro has a larger battery, so it lasts a little bit longer as well. So, woo! Going all out, maxing out the MacBook Pro 2020 M1 with a fully loaded 16GB of RAM and 2TB SSD. Woo, I'm so excited. It's a beast. And I'm gonna use it to edit all of Pixel Stabbers videos, all of you Tech BS videos, and whatever video I wanna edit, it's gonna crunch through them, especially because I'm using Final Cut Pro. It's gonna be buttery smooth and super fast. I am pumped. Yeah. And that's what $2,300 got me. If it's gonna help me edit video faster and make my life better, totally worth it. All right, let's power it up. Open it up. Oh, yes. Peeling off this. Wow. I'm in. This is the brand new MacBook Pro M1. Everything is so compact. Coming from a 15-inch MacBook Pro, the 13-inch MacBook Pro is so compact and nice. I actually like it. Of course, it's got the most updated keyboard that has extra travel and still really nice to work with. We're gonna blast through these settings. Nice. Touch ID is ready to go. Yeah. Oh, and we are in. Check it out. 13-inch MacBook Pro. We got the M1 chip right there with 16GB of RAM. Storage-wise, 2TB SSD. That's pretty much it, guys. So, should you buy the M1 MacBook Pro, or should you actually wait for the next generation of M1 chips? Honestly, if you can wait, I think that's the best value to wait, because this is just the first generation of the M1 chips. So since this is the first generation, the design of the entire MacBook is actually old. There's nothing new about the design. The only change is on the inside. And there's tons of room for improvement. They can actually make the battery bigger, or they can make the laptop thinner and lighter, because right now they're going with their M1 integrated chip. So they have everything in a tightly compact format. Apple's keeping the old chassis because they want to focus on the technology on the inside and spend all their R&D on the technology on the inside for this first generation. And also not to scare people away with too many changes. People are comfortable with this design. This is a classic MacBook Pro and it's designed really well. It doesn't need to really change. People are happy with it. So Apple decided to focus on the inside for the first generation. And of course, the next generation, there's tons of room for improvement. That's why if you can wait for the next generation. The chip will be more polished, the software will be more polished, and the hardware is gonna be more polished. Now, if you are concerned about resale value, Macs have really good resale value as long as you buy the base model, not this one. This one I got is fully loaded, right? I spent a lot of money for the 16 gigabyte RAM, the 2 terabyte SSD. Now, let's talk about connectivity option. This MacBook Pro only has, here you go, only has 2 Thunderbolt ports and a microphone port. I actually want to have at least 4 because if I'm plugging in power and I'm plugging in an SD card reader and maybe an external hard drive and connect to an external monitor, yeah, I need at least 4 ports. And there are adapters, but I just still would love to have it built in. Just give me 2 more ports on this side and keep these 2 ports here and it would be the perfect machine. But you know what? I'm asking for too much because the M1 MacBook Pro are amazing. I'm sure Apple is waiting to put the 4th Thunderbolt port on the next generation and they're going to charge a lot for it. So if you can wait, definitely wait. They're going to improve this design for sure. It's definitely going to get lighter and slimmer. But if you need performance and the new M1 MacBook is good enough for you, grab it. You're gonna be really happy with it. So though you only got 2 ports, check out the link down below for a hub that can convert each Thunderbolt port into 3 Thunderbolt ports. And it's quite good with the new M1 Max. In terms of performance, this first generation M1 MacBook Pro blows everything I know out the water in terms of editing in Final Cut Pro. And that's what I do almost every day. So the faster I can edit the videos, the better my life would be. I actually thought about buying the Mac Pro and load that thing up to like $20,000. But the performance of that Mac Pro is actually on par with this M1 laptop MacBook Pro. And that's mind-blowing because the M1 MacBook Pro costs between $1,000 to $2,000 and the performance is on par with a $20,000 Mac Pro for editing videos on Final Cut Pro. I mean, mind-blowing, right? That's crazy. Of course, there's still bugs and it's not the same performance if you're using other applications and some applications might not be compatible. But for me, I use Final Cut Pro and the M1 is just a beast at editing videos on Final Cut Pro. And the reason why I got the MacBook Pro instead of the Mac Mini is simply because I love to have everything in one unit. I can easily go anywhere I want with it. It's got the keyboard, it's got the trackpad, the beautiful trackpad, amazing keyboard. It's got the beautiful screen, it's got the webcam, it's got microphone built in, it's got speakers. I mean, it's a laptop that's really built well, is designed fantastically because I've been using Apple products and I love it. And it's just so nice to have everything in the power of my palms and perform really well editing Final Cut Pro videos as well or even better than the fully loaded Mac Pro that can cost $20,000. I mean, and it's got the 20-hour battery life in this thing. That's the longest battery life of any Mac ever. It's got a fan in there, but it's super, super quiet. It's the M1 chip, so they don't get hot. They don't burn on your lap when you're using it as a laptop. And actually having silent operation is really nice. It's like using your iPad, but now you're editing videos and doing high performance tasks. And if the fan comes on, it's very quiet. And if you guys get the MacBook Air, there's no fan, so it stays completely silent. And it's also nice and cool to operate. It's just so amazing. If I think about it, it's more than I ever even asked for. Something that's this compact, portable, has so much performance, it's quiet, and it doesn't get burning hot, and I can edit Final Cut Pro videos as fast or faster than a Mac Pro. What's there not to want about this amazing MacBook Pro. And that's why I got it, despite that it's the first generation M1 chip, despite that it's not a new design, it's the same design that has so much room for improvement, and despite the fact that it only has 2 Thunderbolt ports, it's still really amazing for what it's got. And sure, I can go cheap with the specs and plug in external hard drives, but I decided to splurge and get 2TB of SSD, and it's gonna allow me to create a lot of amazing videos for you guys to watch and enjoy. I'm excited and I'm in love with this new MacBook Pro 2020 M1 with 16GB of RAM and 2TB SSD in the space gray color. I love it, it's so sweet. Happy, happy, happy. Now, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. There are growing pains, and one of the biggest growing pain is software compatibility, because obviously the M1 chip is now no longer an Intel chip. And that means software that was natively designed for the Intel chip has to go through what's called Rosetta 2, which converts the software instructions to this new M1 chip instructions. But it's so good that a lot of people are saying that it's almost transparent. They don't even notice that it does this conversion to the M1 chip, and most things work smoothly. In fact, they work smoothly and better than it worked on the Intel chip. So it doesn't work perfectly on application that was not designed for the M1 chip, but they work pretty good. So there are software out there that do not perform well or do not operate at all on the M1 chip, and that's just growing pain of this first generation as developers get their software updated to this new M1 chip, and it's just a matter of time before they do. So make sure that all the software that you're going to be using is compatible with this new M1 Mac. And another thing to note is that this uses the new Big Sur OS, and you have no choice. You cannot actually use an old operating system on these new M1 Macs. And of course, every time you upgrade to a new operating system, there are compatibility issues as well. So it's not just the M1 chipset, it's also the new OS that Apple forces you to use, which is also incompatible with some software as well. Again, just growing pain of new technology and new software. Bottom line, should you buy the new MacBook Pro M1? I think so, obviously, because I got it, and not only did I buy the M1 MacBook Pro, I got the fully loaded one and spent $2,300 on it because I think it's gonna be an amazing tool for me, and it's gonna be so convenient, and I'm gonna enjoy it so much. And that's really the best part of life, being able to enjoy doing what you do. And if I can sit on the couch, use this beautiful MacBook Pro with amazing screen, amazing keyboard, fantastic touchpad, and I can edit videos, I can do video conference with the built-in webcam. I can listen to music and do everything I need on this little thing. And yet, you got a 20-hour battery life. It's nearly silent. In fact, if you get the MacBook Air, it's completely silent. And it doesn't run hot, so it's nice and cool to put on your lap and actually use it as a laptop. Just think about how much you enjoy using an iPad on the couch, right? But now, you can have the same enjoyment as you're editing professional quality video or doing high intensive applications. If you think about it, that's why the iPad is so enjoyable, because it's powerful, it's quiet, and it's cool to the touch, and it does everything you need for an iPad. But of course, an iPad was never the perfect solution for me as a video editor, because I need a keyboard, I need a trackpad, I need to be able to run Final Cut Pro on it. But now, this thing can run Final Cut Pro faster or as fast as a $20,000 Mac Pro, but I can work on my lap, sitting on a couch with a 20-hour battery life, with a beautiful screen that's calibrated and looks amazing. Everything just integrates so well into this beautiful 13-inch device that turns on instantly when I open the screen. I mean, look at that, instant on. Check this out, ready? Boom, it's on. Ready? Boom, it's on. Close, it's asleep. Boom, it's on. That is incredible. I mean, yes, I know it's a luxury that I don't need, but it's so nice. It's like your iPhone or your iPad. You just turn it on and instantly it's on and ready to work. And that's so nice, right? Super fast. So all in all, it's a beautiful package. And that's why I went to fully loaded with 2TB SSD and 16GB of RAM because I'm gonna be using this as a powerhouse, as a workhorse to do all my video editing, to do all my web development. Everything is gonna be on this little thing, and it's gonna be a fantastic tool to get the job done. So because I plan to use the heck out of this thing, I think it's totally worth it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is the new M1 MacBook Pro the perfect laptop to get right now? Or maybe the M1 MacBook Air? Or maybe the M1 MacMini is the perfect one for you. Anyways, you have choices, and like I mentioned below, there are some sacrifices you're making, but to me, it's perfect. At least for now, until they can add more Thunderbolt ports. But we'll talk about that later because right now, I'm super happy with what I have here. But let me know if you guys are picking up one of the new M1 Mac devices and let me know which one. Before you go, don't forget there are raffles and giveaways down the link below at pixelstabbers.com/freebies. The freebies are literally freebies. You don't need to enter raffles or do anything. You just go there and you can get the freebies. Of course, if you want to enter the giveaways, there's a lot of giveaways there too. We got Amazon gift cards, we got RGB keyboards, we got Luminar editing software, lots of great stuff. And you know what? There's not a lot of people entering the giveaways right now. So if you enter, there's a very high chance that you might win. So check that out. And that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay healthy, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.